Chào mừng quý vị và các bạn đến với chương trình Đồng tiền thông minh trên kênh FBNC. Và trong chương trình ngày hôm nay, mời quý vị cùng đến với phần chia sẻ của ông Stephen Heathcote, là Phó Tổng giám đốc của ACCA Toàn cầu, là một tổ chức cung cấp các chứng chỉ nghề chuyên nghiệp trong lĩnh vực kế toán và tài chính, và tầm quan trọng của việc sở hữu những văn bằng chuyên nghiệp như thế này trong việc phát triển sự nghiệp trong lĩnh vực kế toán tài chính như thế nào trong kỷ nguyên của thế kỷ 21. Mời quý vị cùng theo dõi cuộc trao đổi sau đây.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
So could you kind of tell us a little bit more details about some of the major drivers of change that's going to affect the accounting and finance professions in the 21st century?
Yes, and thank you for the opportunity. A lot of the drivers of the change affecting accountancy are actually the drivers of the change affecting business. And accountancy ultimately has to help and support business. So some of those drivers relate to economic shifts and changes. So particularly globally now, we're seeing this move from the west to the east and to the south as well, with growing and emerging economies like Vietnam, a growing middle class as well in Asia, and that's creating new business opportunities with the rise of the ASEAN economic community. And for accountants, they really need to make sure the financial underpinning, the financial infrastructure is right to take advantage of the opportunities which come up. So giving people confidence to invest because they trust the financial information, helping businesses make decisions about what assets to buy and to use, how to create value, what are the opportunities, what are the risks, and can they take advantage of some of the opportunities in different countries and across borders. So some of the pressure is about producing accountants who are ready for that change. They understand the global environment. At the same time, there's a lot of pressure around producing reliable and consistent financial information. So in Vietnam, the drive towards international standards and international reporting standards. So that's a big change for the profession. Accountants need to be aware of that on top of it, and helping companies adapt and have that core information, which ultimately supports investment and gives people trust in information as well. And I think the other major change we've been talking about with our members and with employers here in Vietnam is technology. Technology is very disruptive, it's very revolutionary in the way it's changing business. And it's basically pulling together our personal lives and our business lives in ways we just couldn't have imagined just a short time ago. So you have mobile information, we have remote workforces, we have companies taking advantage of cloud-based services, which includes software and infrastructure. And that creates huge opportunity because companies have access to software and platforms which in the past would have cost millions and millions of pounds. Now they can lease them and hire that space and get advantage of really powerful analytical tools for a very, very small cost, but they need to know how to use it. And I think for accountants, we have a role to be aware of those changes and guiding companies through them. And it creates risk as well. Cybersecurity is something that I've heard some of the businesses here in Vietnam talk about. It's a risk for every business, and an accountant has to be aware of those risks as well. So there's a lot of drivers, some of it economic, some of it about regulation, but most of it around economic opportunity, particularly in ASEAN, I feel.
So I'm guessing like the role of accountant and finance people in the business is getting more important. How can they contribute more to the success of the company in general? I mean, how do you create an effective relationship between accountants and finance people with others, senior leaders in the companies like CEO or COO and other kind of senior leaders?
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately an accountant has to be able to seem to provide value. And to provide value, you have to be connected and showing the CEO and others in the business that you're actually talking about things that they care about, and you're talking about things that are helping the business be successful. So that means for the accountant, in relation to their relationship with the CEO, the chief accountant, the CFO, they need to be seen as a trusted advisor. And that means that they're involved in business decisions. The CEO is talking through issues with them. They see them as being part of both day-to-day decision-making and strategic decision-making. They're not just number crunchers, they're not just compliance people. And then for the wider business, that the accountant is seen as a partner, actually helping the business achieve its goal. And that means for an accountant, they have to see things through the eyes of the business. which is a change in mindset, I think, for many accountants.
So to get adapted to the changes, let's say in the global play field, I mean, what should the accountant and finance people prepare themselves? What set of skill are we looking for?
Yeah, I think it is helpful to view this as a pyramid of skills, really. There's some basic skills and basic knowledge. They just need to be able to get by as accountants. It's almost like a credibility stamp. To say you're an accountant, you have to know these core skills, and that's a given. It's sort of hygiene. So one of the most obvious ones at the moment is awareness of international accounting standards. By 2017, with the new accounting laws coming into place in Vietnam, all of the major companies here in Vietnam will start to adopt basically IFRS accounts, as will, I think, other organisations when they start to see the benefits of actually using IFRS. So for all accountants out there, I think one of the primary things they have to do is get knowledge of those standards and make sure that they can advise companies and be ready for that. 2017 is not very far away, so that's one of the core kind of skills. In terms of then moving up the pyramid, the accountant wants to get into a place where they can actually provide business advice. So I think that's where they can show they're ready. Partly again by being aware of opportunities, so having awareness of technological opportunities, accounting software. Being aware of some of the services which are now available on different platforms which can help businesses using analytical data better, because data can help businesses target their customers. It can help them think about return on investment more effectively. So again, it's pulling from their technical skills, but it's starting to add value. And if they can show that awareness, then they start to get into the space where they're seen as actually providing advice and value. And I think the next thing they can do is just start building up their network within the business. So as part of their day-to-day responsibilities, start thinking about how much time is the accountant spending on compliance and data information rather than in the business understanding the issues, and consciously try and make a shift. So try and put more time into actually spending time with people in the business and make that one of your goals as an accountant. And that means you need to do some of the data preparation more efficiently, perhaps use software, perhaps try and delegate it more, just look at processes and do it more effectively. But if they can spend time talking to people, understanding business issues, having regular conversations, they're going to be better placed to move into that advisory role in the future.
Những chia sẻ vừa rồi cũng đã khép lại phần 1 của chương trình Đồng tiền thông minh ngày hôm nay. Quý vị có thể xem lại chương trình trên website FBNC-Vn hoặc là facebook.com/đồng tiền thông minh. Chúng tôi sẽ còn quay trở lại trong phần tiếp theo.